I'd like for you to pay particular attention to the wording used in their video title. Baton Rouge Police Execution of Alton Sterling. Execution? That's a reckless word to use. These officers defended their lives against an armed ex-con who was reaching for his gun while resisting arrest. And you reduce that to, the cops executed him? This kind of inflammatory framing isn't a one-off. The Young Turks have repeatedly used the word execution in their anti-cop videos, deliberately painting justified shootings as cold-blooded murders. Ohio police fire 90 rounds in execution of unarmed black man. I'm sure that's all we need to know there. Video of cops executing homeless man enrages community. Black man executed by Tulsa police. LAPD executes homeless man in the street. Cops patiently wait for excuse to execute man. It goes without saying that they are totally wrong in their analysis of each of these situations, but for them to use the word execution frames the shooting as intentional, cold-blooded, unjust, and extra-legal, a modern-day lynching, basically. It declares that the cops had no reason that might justify the shooting in question, but that it was an indefensible act of evil. In every single one of their videos, it is heavily implied, if not directly stated, that the race of the criminal resisting arrest has everything to do with why they were, quote, executed. But to use the word execute is to intentionally prod their audience to take action to right the wrong and stop these evil people from executing more innocent people. And they know this.
The other major story from over the weekend was Dr. George Tiller was shot in Kansas, and he was a abortion provider, fairly famous, made famous partly by the anti-abortion crowd, who have always hated him, and made him a celebrity in their hatred of him, and definitely aided and abetted by Bill O'Reilly, among others, who kept calling him, because they thought they were so clever, Tiller the baby killer. And there's a clip of O'Reilly on the web now where he says for about 1 minute and 40 seconds straight, it's one clip after another where he calls him baby killer, says what he did was the equivalent of the Nazis, and that he executed and terminated babies. And when you use language like executed and terminated, what is the proper response for that? In a lot of people's minds, they think, well, if he's executing babies, we have to make him stop. In fact, Bill O'Reilly and other conservative hosts would say from time to time, George Tiller must be stopped. And so a crazy guy goes and stops him by killing him.
You know, it's interesting, though, because he's talking about provoking violence, and he's the person who repeatedly referred to a late-term abortion doctor as a baby killer again and again and again, and he doesn't want to take any responsibility for that.
After watching that video, it's beyond obvious they know full well what using the word execution means, and how it can and will incite an audience to take violent action in response. They were more than happy to point this out for Bill O'Reilly, describing abortion as executing babies, and yet they turn around and describe justified police shootings as executions. Well, guess what? One of your fans did what you knew one of them would do if you used that word, and he killed 4 human beings.